watched the CBS Evening News last night, and just want to go over like the first part of it, the first 15 minutes, what I thought of this news. I used to watch NBC News, nightly news all the time until they got so every story was a story about how much somebody hated Trump or whatever. So I had to move on because I'm a Trump supporter. And I tried out ABC News. I used to never watch ABC or CBS ever. Tried out ABC News for a while, about a month. Watched it a couple nights a week. And I'll be damned if they're not the same way. They're just like NBC. All they do is criticize Trump, their whole broadcast. So then I've been trying CBS for a little while, and they're no better either. Same damn thing. So I recorded last night's program, and I want to commentate on the first 15 minutes of this show, tell you what I think.
It's become a chaotic first week for the Trump administration.
A chaotic first week. Okay, that's his opinion. It's just been a week. It hasn't been chaotic. It's just typical political stuff.
Would pay for the wall. Earlier, he announced a 20% tax on Mexican goods.
Okay, sounds good to me.
The White House arranged a hasty news conference to knock
hasty
that down.
News conference.
This morning, Mr. Trump insulted the president of Mexico.
Insulted the president. Okay. Now, if this was Obama, would he be saying all this negative stuff? No.
On the day that the president's chief advisor told the news media to keep their mouth shut.
There you go.
Because the media have, quote, zero integrity.
Pretty
much.
Pretty much.
It was that kind of day. Here's Margaret Brennan.
All right, let's see what Margaret's got to say.
President Trump told Republican lawmakers his new idea on how to pay for the border wall with Mexico.
Well, we're working on a tax reform bill that will reduce our trade deficits, increase American exports, and will generate revenue from Mexico that will pay for the wall if we decide to go that route.
Right, sounds good.
Aboard Air Force One, White House spokesman Sean Spicer said a 20% tax on imports would generate enough money.
But by doing it that way, we can do $10 billion a year and easily pay for the wall, just through that mechanism alone. That's really going to provide the funding.
But back at the White House, Chief of Staff Reince Priebus told reporters the 20% tax was just, quote, one of a buffet of options. And aides said the tax could range from 5 to 20%.
Whatever.
Mexico is America's third largest trading partner, with more than $500 billion in goods traded annually, helping to support 1.1 million
jobs.
Okay,
I don't know where they got that
statistic. A tax on imports is designed to encourage American
just like they thought Hillary was going to win the election.
Could also lead to higher prices on
get these numbers from somewhere.
México no pagará ningún muro.
Today, Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto canceled a planned trip to Washington next week to meet with President Trump. Peña Nieto has repeatedly stated that Mexico will not pay for a border wall.
Oh, I think they will. One way or another.
I reject the decision
Maybe
of the
not
United
with cash,
States,
but
he said, that far from uniting us, divides us. Mr. Trump did not back down.
Unless Mexico is
he doesn't back down, see? Obama would back down.
With respect,
Trump doesn't back down.
Such a meeting would be fruitless, and I want to go a different route. We have no choice.
Okay.
Despite Mr. Trump's campaign rhetoric
look at this lady. Look at her facial expression, her eyes. I mean, you can tell she's a Trump hater. She just can't stand even having a report about him.
To pay for it. Scott?
Margaret Brennan at the White House. We learned today that the U.S. Border Patrol chief has been fired, a signal that the new administration is taking border policies
probably long overdue,
focusing on the wall. But some who live along
now this is where it gets interesting.
The natural border with Mexico.
See, now they're going to go into this personal story about this poor dude that thinks the wall shouldn't be built, and they're going to already watch this once. They're going to spend 93 seconds on this story.
Like this hole along the stretch near El Paso.
Do they interview somebody that's for the wall and get their opinion on what they think? No, not for this story. They spend 0 seconds on that. So 93 seconds to 0 seconds.
The United States of America and its citizens.
But along the border in Laredo,
One-sided
Texas, Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar calls the proposed wall impractical.
Oh, it's impractical.
That I can see infrastructure But you tell me how you're going to do this on a natural barrier.
How you
like
tell
the
me how you gonna put a
Clear
man on the moon? I
Nearly
don't know how you gonna
700
do
miles
that.
of the 2,000-mile-long border with Mexico already have some type of fencing at a cost of more than $2 billion.
Okay.
President Trump put the cost of the entire concrete wall at $8 to $12 billion, though analysts say it could hit $40 billion.
Analysts say
There are some
it could be
practical
40 billion.
challenges, like
Analysts?
building on
What
private
analysts?
lands, over
Stephen
remote
Colbert?
mountains,
Is he an
and on
analyst?
national parks. Dennis Nixon was one of the Trump campaign's top fundraisers.
Okay, now they
in
find
Texas,
this
yet
other
he
guy
opposes the wall.
that's turned on Trump. And let's interview him and add him into the story. Don't
And to
interview
be clear,
anybody that
this is
supports
coming from
Trump.
someone who
No.
spent a lot of time
And then on
and
top of it
money
off, they
working
got some
for
Mexican
Donald
guy
Trump.
interviewing him.
Absolutely.
To those supporters who say the wall has to happen, that's why we voted, what do you say?
They're wrong.
They're wrong,
Because we
okay.
haven't looked
Well,
at
I
the
say
data.
you're wrong.
My main argument is the river is an effective.
Okay, where's the other side?
to
Why
provide
doesn't
that same level of
CBS
security.
News show the other
And
side?
this is
Come
it,
interview
the
me, I'll
real
tell you what I
brand
think.
Which separates me here on the Mexican side from our cameraman on the U.S. side in Laredo. Scott Nixon says he supports fencing targeted areas and investing in technology. But ever since then candidate Trump visited Laredo in 2015, he's vowed to build a wall.
Manuel Bojorquez.
93 seconds spent on that story.
Thank you. Citing security, the president is expected to block.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to
refugees
another
from
personal story
About
about
12,000
immigration.
who fled the Civil War there, settled in the U.S. just last
Refugees.
year. And Jim Axelrod met some of the new arrivals.
So now with this story, they cherry picked this nice, perfect family that's blending in fairly well. Having a little, tell them to, y'all do something fun. Go have a snowball fight and smile. This guy can't even speak English. And this lady looks like she's ready for Halloween.
was like running, trying to hide in the house, and she calls my name all the time.
The Khatibs are one of
But
two
see,
families
this
who are
story,
among the first
they
of
spend
110
125
refugees set to
seconds
be relocated to Rutland.
with
But
the
it's a process now
anti-Trump
in
side.
jeopardy by the president's promise,
And then you're going to
which would
see here in a
halt the rest of
second,
the
you're going to
families from
spend
arriving.
16 seconds on the pro-Trump side.
But not defeated.
Look at this lady, she's got tears in her eyes. She's so upset. Oh, what am I going to do?
Organized to get the refugees settled in, providing them with clothing and furniture.
These are not the people that you need to fear.
Oh, that's your
These people
opinion.
are
What do you, oh, you're
running for their
God?
lives.
You know
They
everything?
have been victims to the very same people
Just
that
because you've met a few of them, you think
we
you know
fear,
all?
violence.
And all Muslims
Okay,
are
right
not
here.
bad
Here's the
people.
pro-Trump
But Don
piece.
Chiaffi, a retired teacher, applauds the president's promise
Okay.
to halt the refugee
This
program
lasts a total
temporarily
of 16
and
seconds.
provide more time to vet everyone coming here.
It only takes one with a vest on to blow up some of my friends. I mean, it only takes one.
But the Khatibs were
Okay,
already
back to the
vetted
other
for 2
side.
years
Enough of
while
you.
living in Turkey
Let's go back to the
and waiting to
anti-Trump
come.
side.
It's just lack of knowledge.
Let's add another person in. Let him,
Khalil, a US
you know,
citizen who
slam
emigrated
Trump.
from Syria
Tell him
as
his little
Ahmed
personal
Khalil 35
cherry-picked
years ago,
story that
is
turned out
asking
so
the people
well.
of Rutland for one thing.
If they give them a chance, the same chance that I got, they will see
Back to
that
the
these
snowball
folks really
fights.
work out.
Yeah. Oh,
Mike
that's,
Khalil should know he's got a thriving real estate business in Rutland. In
you
fact,
should know,
he
yeah.
has
You should
declined to
definitely
help these
know.
refugees out and now expects the fathers of the two families to get jobs working at a grocery store.
Working at
Jim
Walmart.
Axelrod for us tonight. Jim, thank you. Today, President Trump took his first flight aboard Air Force One to speak at the Congressional Republican Retreat in Philadelphia. Yesterday, Mr. Trump advocated torture. Today, he told Republicans his agenda is based on a moral foundation.
Yep, torture
The
worked
GOP controls
back
both
in the
houses of
16th
Congress
century.
and the White House for the
Sure
first
would work
time
again
in
today.
10 years. And here's Nancy Cordes.
So nice. Nice to win. Do we agree? It's been a while. It's been a while since we had this position. Nice to
President Trump reminded Republicans today that they are in the driver's seat thanks to his victory.
See what this lady's got to
Congress is
say.
going to be the busiest Congress we've had in decades, maybe ever.
He urged them to work quickly on bills to cut taxes and replace Obamacare.
I think, Congressman, I think we have no choice. I think we have no choice. We have to get it going.
To the great relief of Republicans here, President
To
Trump
the
relied
great,
on
did you
prepared
catch that?
remarks
To the
the
great
telephone
relief of
and
Republicans
avoided
here.
getting sidetracked like he did.
Right,
at
like
the
she went around and
CIA
asked them what they thought.
It looked, honestly, it looked like 1.5 million people.
His false claims about crowd size and voter fraud have been a
I
distraction.
don't know what this
for
story's
Republican
about. Who
leaders.
knows what's
Though
true on
there's
that?
talk
There's
of
so many
reviewing
altered
the ban on
photographs.
torture.
Is this a debate that your members want to have? And what's your take on the issue?
Well, I think the director of the CIA has made it clear he's going to follow the law. And I believe virtually all of my members are comfortable with the state of the law on that issue now.
Senate Leader Mitch McConnell and House Speaker Paul Ryan said today they are learning how to navigate the ups and downs of the Trump era.
This is going to be an unconventional presidency. I think we're going to see unconventional activities like tweets and things like that, and I think that's just something that we're all going to have to get used to.
That's good. Fine with that.
Mr. Trump's quick action on
Wow,
a
this
host
is
of
Mr.
shared
Trump.
priorities
You
has
don't call
done
him
a lot
President
to
Trump?
soothe GOP angst over his unfounded views. The reality
Unfounded
is that this
views.
is going to be a
There we go.
complicated
That's
relationship,
her
but
opinion.
it's a
To me, they're
mutually
founded.
beneficial one, too.
Nancy
You know,
Cordes
it's
with the
just your
Republicans
crappy
in
little
Philadelphia.
opinion. I don't give a shit about what you got to
We rarely
say.
hear from President Trump's chief
All right.
strategist, Steve Bannon.
Let's see what Robert
but he
Redford's
talked
got to
about the
say.
media today with the New York Times. Bannon, who used to run the right-wing Breitbart News, said mainstream news organizations were humiliated by the Trump win and should keep their mouths shut and just listen for a while.
Exactly.
Bannon added, quote, "The media has zero integrity, zero intelligence, and no hard work. You're the opposition party," he said, "not the Democratic Party.
Very true
You're the
words.
opposition party. The media's the opposition
The media
party."
just doesn't get it.
One of the president's first
Okay, here we go with another last personal
US
story
of the Trans-Pacific
on TPP.
Partnership, a 12-nation
They're going to
free
find
trade
another, cherry pick
deal.
another
Lee
guy
Rhodes
that's
has found some
anti-Trump
ideas about this
and
deep in Trump
doesn't
country.
like Trump's policy on this and do a story on him. In this story, they will devote 107 seconds for this anti-Trump guy, and then they're going to show 6 seconds of somebody that supports Trump. So watch this, check this out.
That's because 1 out of every 3 acres of corn he grows is exported. 1 out of every 5 jobs in his state is
So this is
dependent
3
on
stories
trade.
in a row
So when the
where they
president
find
talks of
people
renegotiating trade
that
deals,
want to talk
mopping
bad
up the
about Trump. Instead of
Trans-Pacific
supporting him,
entirely,
supporting the
as he did
president,
this
they're going
week,
to trash talk him, put him down and complain and act like he doesn't know what he's doing.
Would have been a huge benefit for agriculture.
What does it mean to you as an individual farmer not to have it?
It's going to be more difficult to make a profit without having it.
the TPP would have removed trade barriers and, according to supporters, would have added
According to
more than
supporters,
$4
right?
billion annually from U.S. exports. But critics said it would
6
lower
seconds.
wages,
6
cause
seconds.
jobs,
Okay,
and
now let's
reduce
go back to the
American
negative
influence
on
by
why it's
putting it
bad.
on the same footing with weaker economies. They say bilateral deals are better for America. Hemesath voted for the president and still supports him, but wishes farmers had been more persuasive.
What would you tell him now?
That our economy benefits from trade and that he needs to look at it from a global economic
Oh,
standpoint.
like, okay,
The
like this
farmers
guy
here
knows
say
more
they
than
are
Trump.
willing to
Okay.
give Mr. Trump
Right.
a chance to negotiate
This is
better
what you
deals,
need to do,
Scott.
Trump.
And the president did say today, quote, "Believe me, we're going to have a lot of trade deals."
Dean Reynolds down on the farm. Dean, thank you. Coming up next on the CBS Evening News.
So you see, it's, you know, it's the same thing. Whatever channel you go to, unless you go to Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, they're all the same. All they do is spend all this time bashing Trump. That's their agenda. They don't like Trump. He doesn't fit their narrative, so they're just going to bash him every night. So just watch this. Pick any channel, like one of those 3 channels, and just watch it. Watch the first 15 minutes. That's when they always talk about Trump. And just see how much time they spend cherry picking these stories of anti-Trump people, and then how much time they spend on the pro-Trump people. And you'll see the ratio is like way off.